All right, everybody. So I wanted to show you how the Par 2 courses worked so that you would be able to work on this today. Par 2 courses need a double bank or double bounce. Okay, so just like yesterday, we have to imagine the bounce of the ball getting into the hole in one shot. So if I'm looking at this first one right here, I'm imagining that we're going to bounce off this wall here, and then we're going to bounce off this wall here, and then hopefully get into the hole. So my two bounces are this wall and this wall. So when you do two bounces, you have to work backwards just a little bit. So if I'm looking at this, I'm going to go from the hole, and then I know that I'm going to bounce off of this wall right here. So I'm going to go the reflection over the bounce wall. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's my reflection, just like this. And then because there's two bounces, there's a second reflection that we have to do. The first bounce is going to happen off of this wall. So I'm going to extend this wall down just a little bit. And you don't necessarily have to do this, but if you can't quite see the wall, it would be good to extend it. And then I'm going to reflect this point that I just drew over the new wall. So then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Puts me right here for my first reflection. So again, we reflected over the second bounce, so we're here, and then we reflect over the wall that has the first bounce, so here. You kind of have to work backwards from where you started with the ball. So then just like with a single bounce, we're going to go from the ball or from the hole, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go here just like this, line these up so that I can make a straight line here. Hold on, let me get this. Just like this. We go like this. And again, we make it a nice long line so that we'll be able to measure it. So I'm even going to extend this one just a little bit further here. Just like this. Now we have a nice long line that we can measure the angle. And again, we're going to measure from where it bounces on the wall. So it's bouncing off the wall right here. So then I go right at that center point. I'm going to put my protractor. And then we can now see, okay, this looks like it's just under, we can see right here there's a 50-degree angle. So then we're just under that, so we're 49 degrees. So then I come here to the other side of my protractor, and I'm gonna go that same 49 degrees. So here's 40 right here. So then here's 50, and then I wanna go one less than 50. So that's gonna put us right about here, like this. You know that you're on the right path if the reflection here kind of lines up with that angle measure that we just made, right? So my 49 degrees. And then we can connect those. So just like this. Here's where the bounce is going to happen. Connect it to that new line, new dot that we just drew. Again, make this a nice long line so that we can see the path of travel here. Always mark these, right? We just found that this was 49 degrees, so that this one also had to be 49 degrees because of our reflection, our approach angle, and our leaving angle or departure angle. And then from here, same exact thing. So we're going to bounce off the wall right here. Put our little protractor right against this. And then measure this angle that's getting made. Looks like this angle, we have 40 right here. So this is 41, 42, 43. Looks like it's about 43 degrees. So we'll go here. Here's 41, right? 40, 41, 42, 43. So you can go outside or inside. Let's go outside this time. So we'll go out here. 43 degrees. Line up with that dot. Line up with the bounce. And then look at that. Should go right into the hole. Because I lined up my protractor with that bounce and then the angle measure. And we said this one was 43 degrees and 43 degrees, just like that. And that's how you do a double bounce. It just requires two of those angle measurements. All right. So let's try it one more time with this second one, just in case you didn't quite get it. All right. If you totally understand this, you are good to go, and feel free to start working on some of the Par 2 courses. Remember, I want you to try to finish at least 4 of them today. So you have to have all of the par 1 courses done, besides 7, because I know 7 is kind of challenging. 9 is also challenging. We'll talk about 9 once I get back, but don't worry about 7. So you'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. I know 8 you could do a straight shot, but I want you to force yourself to bounce it off of a wall just to practice that. You could even bounce off this wall and in the hole, right? So practice a bounce. A lot of 8s should look different from each other. Anyway, let's go back to this one more time, and we will just get a reminder of how to do this. So again, we have to visualize how this ball is going to travel to get a hole in one. So we're going to bounce up off this wall, we're going to bounce down off this wall, and then it should bounce into the hole. So if we're working backwards, we reflect the hole over the wall that gets the second bounce. So 1, 1 puts the hole right here. And then for my second reflection, I have to take this exact same reflection that I just did, and we need to reflect it over this wall because it's getting the first bounce. So then I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I'm going to go past 1, 2, 3, 4, puts us right here. So now we draw for our first bounce from this from the second reflection back to the ball, just like this. Make that a nice long line because we're going to have to measure this angle. We're bouncing right here, it looks like. So I'm going to put my protractor right over the hole, right over where I'm going to bounce, and then we can measure the angle. This angle is this line right here. So that looks like it's going through about, this is 20, 35, 36. So 36 degrees. So then we will come over to the other side and we'll find 36 degrees. So 35, 36. So that'd be 150. So right in here, 36 degrees. And again, you'll notice that you should be pretty lined into this that first reflection that we did. So now we can draw this angle measure. Line up that protractor with my new dot that I made. Make a nice long line here. Just like this. And then again, we go to the bounce. Measure the angle of the bounce. Just like this. We can see, well, did not draw that line long enough. Could not quite see where it was going. Let's draw the line a little bit longer. So here. Line those up. Draw the line a little bit longer here. Just like that. Now we can measure. This is 40 degrees. Looks like 39 degrees, just under 40. So then we go 39 degrees on this side. We've got 40, 39. Man, that's off the paper just a little bit, isn't it? So I'll just try to follow that in just slightly, right in here. 39 degrees. And then if we did that well enough, sorry that was not the most beautiful because it went off the paper. Missed it just a little bit. But that's okay. As long as you're getting close to that hole, that's what matters. So this is 39 degrees, 39 degrees. I already forget what this first thing was. I think it was 40s, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, 36 degrees. So we had 36 degrees here and 36 degrees here. And that's how you do double bounces, all right? So finish par 1, finish all these par 1s, and then move on to par 2, okay? Par 2 means that there's 2 bounces, all right? We'll talk about them tomorrow. We'll especially talk about number 9 because that's a difficult reflection there. Number 7 actually requires 2 bounces. That's why I'm having you skip it. But if you want to try it, you could do a 2 bounce to get this one in here. 1, 2. Should I get you here? So 1 and then 2. All right. Anyway, come with some questions tomorrow if we're still struggling with this. Hopefully this video helped you. Have a great day, guys.